I don't know, I just recorded something, but it's a lazy Thursday, so I'm gonna record some more, because why not? I'm bored. Um, Yesterday, I went out, to this, antique store, that's just on the corner. It's this little plaza. It's like a mini plaza. It's kind of cool. It's got all sorts of shit there. It's got this good pizza place. It's got a good Mexican place. It's got a gas station on the corner that I frequent for my nightly coffee at all sorts of odd hours of the night whenever I don't feel like making it. It's a great little spot to just sort of go. But you know, I decided that I decided to get rid of a bunch of these dolls that I got on this Ari adventure from January of this year. And while it is in walking distance, I did decide to hitch a ride to the whole thing, as I really didn't feel like walking back and forth in 104-degree Fahrenheit heat. You know, I hear the whole world complaining about heat, and it's like, you guys have no fucking idea. Like, I've dealt with this shit my entire life. Like, get over it. You know, but, you know, though I did wind up in it temporarily after the whole affair, which, you know, wearing my typical all black attire really didn't help much for that. But, you know, what can I say? I spent, however, most of the time there hanging out with this, gray-haired but spry and energetic German woman working there. And we talked with in a broken bilingual fashion about the dolls, as well as her origin as Sie kommt aus Stuttgart, as well as, you know, spider jewelry, which she showed me excitedly after she inquired about this on my left arm, which is the Danger Days icon, because My Chemical Romance is a great band. But you know, she showed me these spider bodily decorations, and there was a painting there too, which was like an illustration, and the person had combined a bunch of like piercings, like actual piercings, onto the painting. So it was really cool. And I found the whole interaction itself quite cool. You know, though I could tell that my German had deteriorated since last going there for my 19th birthday, which was over a year ago. I'm 20 now, and it's June, and my birthday's in March. Though, apparently Google thinks I'm born in April, but whatever. I Googled myself earlier today for the fuck of it, and apparently it thinks I was born in April 2006. No, I was born in March of 2006. Get it fucking right. I'm a Pisces, apparently. Whatever the fuck that actually means. So is Mike Diana, apparently, but he's also a cunt. Speaking of cunts, so Mike Diana was, he was the first illustrator or cartoonist to be put on trial for his work being too obscene, or deemed too obscene, in the state of Florida. Now, he is a ripe cunt, but he was published by my friend Shane Bugbee throughout that entire time, like Boiled Angel and stuff. I have some of the original copies and stuff over there, but that's not what I'm gonna talk about, because this motherfucker, this lady, is getting a biopic. Dorothea Puente, who was the grandmotherly serial killer who cooked food and poisoned her victims in it. Now, I do happen to have this little piece of murderabilia, which she wrote. It basically just says, I hope you will enjoy each of these recipes and stuff, yada yada yada. But you know, I have that from Dorothea Puente. And also her salsa, I have to agree, it was to die for. I agree with her, I have to agree with her ex-tenant, that every dinner at Dorothea's was like Thanksgiving dinner, and it must have been to die for, actually, because her food, from what I've tried, is really good. Mainly the salsa. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I noticed that my German is definitely deteriorating, and that makes sense because language is a social tool, and it requires practice to retain it, and as is already lacking interaction with the parameters for even my native tongue of English. In the middle of the Nord Desert, Sprechen Sie Deutsch is scarce even on the average digital landscape, and that does differ from the physical world, so as to be able to apply it much, if anywhere. But I did find a place to do that. A social tool is a social tool, and I will admit to having a drift towards like asocial tendencies. However, said tool is sharpened through use, and I think combining both the cool German lady and applications like Duolingo, as well as what I learned from taking the class for 3 years in school, would be beneficial, especially because I do want to visit Germany. I want to go, I want to go visit, I want to take like, I want to take like a tour of all the old camps like Dachau and Buchenwald and just all those places. But all in all, it was an enjoyable half an hour, which I plan a repeat of after this weekend when I go out to Prescott Valley, where I'll probably stop by the lovely and cinematically historical Whiskey Row, where Back to the Future was largely filmed, note the clock tower in Town Square, to help finish cleaning up and out the house that is now vacant except for my grandfather staying part-time now after his older brother, my great uncle, who actually dated John Wayne's daughter for a number of years, fun fact, after working as crew for one of his films, though I hadn't seen this person or interacted with him since the funeral of their mother when I was 11 or 12. And he died the other month. So from what I understand, he was quite the avid collector of items. He had many coins, and, given he didn't have children, as I similarly never planned to, he was able to, stack up a large stash of, like, Western films on VHS, old coins, and DVDs that, my brothers have looted already a bit. I was asleep that day. But anyway, from the antique shop, I was then picked up at the gas station on the corner of the same small plaza that I frequent for coffee at odd hours of the night. And I didn't get any then, as I had a goal with the $20 that I had got for compensation from the dolls. They're technically worth a lot more, but I really just wanted them gone, so I didn't ask for too much. And so my younger brother came to pick me up, and rather than force me to walk in the heat, which was extenuated by the street and beginning rush hour traffic, And so then he drove me up the road and across the street from Barnes & Noble to a smoke shop next to Albertsons and a Mexican restaurant that I have favored since, I can't even remember when, and used the cash to acquire a new vape pod thing. And as I have the needed battery for the Fogers brand, which has lasted me over half a year, and the final month of last year, I chose a strawberry lemonade flavor, handing the money to the kind black gentleman behind the register in exchange for my chosen tobacco product. Then out as quickly as I was in and back to the stick shift truck, which is my brother's chosen mode of transportation, and back home where I promptly fell back asleep as I had been prior to the whole venture. I'm basically a vampire, I realize more and more now, and that adds to it. I wrote and typed this up at night because I'm reading from this as well as just going off and rambling about Dorothea Puente and shit. Which, by the way, this is on Amazon. You should get it. Very good book. And this is what I got. Anyway. Yeah. I then watched, this morning, before I went to sleep, this movie from 1985. It's a Soviet anti-war film called Come and See. It's based on actual events perpetrated by the Waffen SS, a very specific division of that group. The Derl, Derl, the Derlwanger Brigade. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I don't really care. Or the 36th Waffen Grenadier Division of the SS. Also called the Black Hunters, it's not a typical anti-war film. It very much strips away any sort of like heroism, sacrifice, or national purpose, and refuses to basically aestheticize the whole thing. I don't have very many words for it because it's kind of, as the title suggests, you have to come and see, the main character, Flyora. He doesn't learn anything. There's no such thing as wisdom through that trauma. He's just completely psychologically devastated, and I guess I mean there is a bit of like a revival to him in the last scene where he's shooting this picture of Hitler on the ground after his family gets killed. His this girl who was sort of like a love interest or just a bit of connection at first, shows back up after the whole film. She's bleeding from in between the legs, so you can obviously infer what happened there. She's completely as shocked as he is. It's very much a mutual flat affect in comparison to the beginning of the movie, where they're in this forest, and she's dancing on top of a box in the rain, and it's like it's cool and stuff. But it's like he's there when they torch this village, and it's not a fictional embellishment. It's a very true story, actually. 628 people were killed in this event by the Germans in World War II, and yeah, it's a very I'm just describing what happens. I can't really. It's literally a movie. You have to come and see what happens with it. But yeah, it's definitely a movie that I would recommend people watch. Among all the others I watch, I definitely like it because it's like I'd love to write something on it, but it's like there's nothing to write on it. You just have to come and see it. Even though you can write on it, it's like I don't think I could write anything that could do it justice as much as I can yap my head off with a pen. It's very, very fascinating. Like your eyes are just glued to it the whole time. But anyway, I guess in comparison, because I also recently watched Hacksaw Ridge and Saving Private Ryan finally for the first time on each of those, and it's such an interesting comparison because in those, even then, as much as they try and display this gory, horrific reality of World War II, it's like they have these like common tropes even in their realist approach to war. It's not pretty, even with the flamethrowers and people getting their heads blown off in front of James Garfield's face in Hacksaw Ridge, or in Saving Private Ryan, basically everyone dying except for Matt Damon's character. Hollywood has spent so much money on saving Matt Damon's life. Jesus fucking Christ. Though I do like it. It's way better than the last Steven Spielberg movie I saw, which was Disclosure Day. That was... no. That should have been a series. But anyway, even in those films where it's trying to depict war as gross as possible, it's not. I mean, most war movies in the United States are financed by the military, and so they have to have this sort of upbeat, and even in their harrowing tale. And it's like, you know, from what I know, Saving Private Ryan, D-Day veterans actually saw it and walked out of the theater because it was so realistic. And I believe that because it is definitely a very gritty, realist film, but as much it has, you know, these likable characters where it's like, you know, you know, it's a feel-good movie. Come and See is not a feel-good movie. However, you gotta come and see it. Like, it's, like, I don't have as many words for it. Like, I wish I spoke Russian. They'd probably have better words for it, because maybe I should learn Russian too. That would be kind of interesting. No, I want to, after I get German back set in stone, I'm gonna learn Italian, because I want to read Gabriele D'Annunzio in the original, tongue that he wrote in, because I like his book Pleasure a lot. I find it to be a very introspectively, not uplifting, introspectively revealing text. At least personally, it's kind of, it's almost in the same vein as I view Lolita, even though the two films are just so vastly, not films, books. I've never actually seen either Kubrick's adaptation of Lolita or the one in the 90s in their full. I've read the book, and every time I try and watch Kubrick's rendition of it, it's like, this isn't good. This misses the mark of it entirely. And that also reminds me, I'm about to read Simon de Beauvoir, Bridget Barda and the Lolita Syndrome. I haven't started it yet, but I found a PDF of it on Internet Archive, so I'm going to be reading that. Then I'm also going to watch a movie I heard about on this episode of Dinner for Five, which was this old show on TV that Jon Favreau hosted. The specific episode that I'm watching would be season 1, episode 5, which has Daryl Hannah, Andy Dick, and Marilyn Manson. Of course, it has Marilyn Manson. That's who's the one who brought up the film. So, you know, of course I'm gonna watch it. I watched Mad Love whenever I heard about it from Manson, and that was a good film. He's a good film recommender. But yeah, that's where the Eat Me, Drink Me heart is actually from the film Mad Love. It's a very good film. Then I also, after I watched Mad Love, I watched this this one film called The Love Statute Experience, LSD Experience. It's also a very good movie, though I don't remember anything about it, because I was in and out of consciousness and high as shit when I saw it, and I also saw it when I was 17, so it was like, I don't remember it that well, though if I wasn't in and out of consciousness, intoxicated, and 17 with school the next day, I would have probably better remembered it. You know, but yeah, that's that stuff. My snake is looking at me. Hello. Hello. Anyway, I have a Lego. I have so much random shit on this desk. It's great. Not really random, it's organized chaos. Like if I go right here, I can just pull out any random fucking piece of literature. This is a thing called The Chemistry of Thought. It's okay. It's